If you thought you knew Lil Durk, think again. Because what happened behind the scenes these last few weeks has shocked even the people closest to him. And fans are saying they've never seen Durk this close to his breaking point. The cameras didn't catch it. The blogs didn't report it. But the truth? The truth has been bubbling under the surface for months, and now it's finally exploding into the open. It started quietly, late-night messages, sudden disappearances, strange reactions at shows, and people in Durk's own circle whispering that something is wrong. At first, nobody believed it. He's Lil Durk, the face of strength, the voice of Chicago pain, the man who survived losses most people couldn't imagine. But this time, it was different. This time, the weight was too heavy. Fans noticed it first. The shaky performances, the cryptic captions, the unexpected cancellations. But the moment everything snapped, the moment Durk finally said, "I can't hold this and no more," changed everything. What followed was an emotional meltdown nobody saw coming. Betrayals, accusations, family tension, a confession that stunned even his day ones. And tonight, we're breaking it all down. Nobody expected the night of Durk's breaking point to start quietly. But that's exactly how it began. A backstage room in Atlanta, dim lights, half-finished food, security pacing back and forth, and Lil Durk sitting alone on a black leather couch staring at the floor like the world was suddenly too heavy for him to hold. His phone buzzed every few seconds, but he didn't move. Not even once. People who know Durk always say the same thing. He bottles things up until it erupts. And that night, it erupted. The first real sign came hours before the show. A stylist in his team said she heard him mutter, "I'm tired of holding it all in," while staring into the mirror like he didn't even recognize himself. At first she thought he meant exhaustion from touring, long nights, travel, pressure to stay consistent. But the way his voice cracked? That wasn't tour fatigue. That was the sound of someone wrestling with demons they'd been hiding for years. By the time his brothers, cousins, and day one friends gathered around him, the tension was thick enough to choke on. "Bro, you good?" one of them asked. Durk didn't answer. He just kept staring down at his hands like they were responsible for every problem in his life. Then his phone lit up again, a message from someone fans never expected to be part of the story. Someone who, according to multiple people in his circle, pushed Durk closer to his emotional edge than anyone else. A close family member who had been leaking personal info, lies, and private family arguments to the blogs for months. Durk glanced at the message, took a deep breath, and whispered, "I'm done with this." That's when everything started spiraling. Minutes later, a heated argument broke out behind closed doors. Voices echoed down the hallway. Security stepped aside. Crew members pretended not to hear. But everyone heard. Durk wasn't yelling out of anger. He was yelling out of heartbreak. "You really gon' do this to me?" he shouted. "After everything? After all I held down?" The voice on the other side wasn't clear, but one thing was obvious. It was personal. Deep personal. This wasn't rap beef. This wasn't industry drama. This was blood. Family. The kind of betrayal that cuts deeper than anything from the outside world. According to someone present, Durk said the words, "You let them talk about me, using my pain, like it's nothing." The betrayal hit him harder than fans would ever know. For months, snippets of private conversations, arguments, and emotional moments had mysteriously made their way online. People blamed friends. They blamed the industry. They blamed enemies. But Durk knew exactly where it came from, and confronting it shattered something inside him. After the argument ended, Durk walked out the room visibly shaken. Not angry, broken. His eyes were red. His breathing was uneven. The quiet type of heartbreak that sits in your chest, so heavy you can't hide it no matter how hard you try. A few feet away stood two people who always tried to shield him, his close friend and one of his security guys. They'd seen him in dark places before: funerals, losses, street wounds, betrayals. But this time, one of them said, "I ain't seen him like that since Vaughn died." The pressure finally snapped during soundcheck. Durk grabbed the mic, looked out at the empty arena, and for a moment, he froze. Completely. "Bro?" one of the engineers said softly. Durk dropped his head. "I can't fake it tonight," he whispered. Those 5 words shook everyone around him. "I can't fake it tonight." People forget Durk has carried death, pain, guilt, and responsibility for years. He's the one people turn to, the one expected to stay strong, the one who never breaks on camera. But behind the scenes, that pressure crushes even the strongest hearts. A fan video later leaked showing Durk sitting on the edge of the stage that same night, head down, wiping his face with a towel. Fans assumed he was tired, but insiders say he was wiping tears. As the show approached, tensions got worse. A friend from Chicago flew in and confronted him about the rumors circulating online. Rumors that Durk was falling out with his own crew. "People saying you switched up," the friend said. Durk shot back instantly. "Switched up? I'm fighting battles nobody see." Voices rose. Emotions spiraled. At one point, Durk slammed a water bottle across the room and yelled, "I'm the one keeping everybody together, and ain't nobody keeping me together." The room fell silent. Nobody dared respond. Behind every superstar, there's a breaking point, a moment when the pressure outweighs the strength. And for Durk, this was that moment. Still, he tried to get ready for the show. He put on his chain, his jacket, his jewelry. But while his team fixed his mic pack, someone asked, "You sure you want to do this?" He looked up, eyes full of pain, and said, "I don't think my heart in this no more." That sentence shook the whole backstage area. His team exchanged looks. What did he mean? Music? Performing? The lifestyle? Or something deeper? One of his closest friends placed a hand on his shoulder. "Talk to us, bro. What's really going on?" Durk hesitated. His lips trembled. And then, he finally said it. "I lost too much, and now I'm losing myself." Those words hit harder than anything he's ever put in a song. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Even security looked stunned. Fans at the arena had no idea what was happening behind the curtain. They were cheering, chanting his name, ready for the show. But backstage, Lil Durk was unraveling. His hands were shaking. His breathing short. Someone handed him water. Another told him to sit. Someone else tried to calm him down. But Durk wasn't hearing anybody. His thoughts were racing. His pain was louder than any crowd ever could be. He wasn't thinking about performing. He was thinking about everything he had lost, everything he was scared to lose next, and the betrayal that pushed him over the edge. Just as his DJ announced 5 minutes, Durk stood up suddenly, walked toward the door, then stopped. He didn't push it open. He just stood there frozen, staring at the handle like stepping through meant stepping into a world he didn't feel strong enough to face. Durk's hand hovered over the backstage door like it weighed 100 pounds. The crowd was chanting his name on the other side, lights flashing, cameras rolling, stage smoke pumping into the air. But none of it felt real to him. For the first time in his entire career, he wasn't sure he wanted to walk out. His DJ peeked around the corner. "Bro, we on in 2 minutes." Durk didn't look back. Instead, he whispered, almost to himself, "If I go out there like this, I'm a breakdown in front of everybody." His DJ froze. Nobody had ever heard Durk talk like that. Not even during the darkest weeks after losing Vaughn. Not even when the blogs tried to tear him down. Not even when the streets were calling his name in ways that could have ended everything. But tonight wasn't about fame or pain. Tonight was about a man who finally hit the emotional wall he'd been running toward for years. His manager stepped in, voice firm but gentle. "Durk, look, we can postpone the show. The fans will understand." Durk finally turned his head slightly, eyes glossy. "No, they won't," he said. "Not when everybody already think I'm falling apart." The room went silent again. Everyone had been tiptoeing around the obvious. Durk wasn't just dealing with normal pressure. He was battling personal wars that were eating him alive from the inside. Suddenly, the backstage door cracked open and his younger sister slipped in. The one person, insiders say, who could actually calm him down when nobody else could. She didn't say anything at first. She just walked straight to him and placed a hand on his chest like she was checking to see if his heart was still beating. "You're shaking," she whispered. Durk swallowed hard. "I don't feel like myself," he said. "I've been holding this in for too long." That's when she squeezed his hand and said the one thing he didn't expect. "Then stop holding it." Those 4 words hit him deeper than any lyric he's ever written. He blinked, trying to process it. Stop holding it? He didn't even know what that looked like. He had been carrying weight since he was a teenager. Trauma, grief, pressure, expectations. Every death, every betrayal, every headline tied to his name. How do you stop holding something you've been gripping your whole life? Before he could say anything back, another knock echoed at the door. This time it was one of his Atlanta homies. Someone loud, blunt, and always ready to say the truth even if it hurt. He stepped into the room, looked around, and immediately picked up on the tension. "Man, what the hell going on in here?" he asked. "Durk, you straight?" Durk didn't answer. He didn't have to. His silence was loud enough. The homie sighed, shook his head, and said, "They out there waiting for you like you Superman. But you human, bro, ain't nobody gon' judge you for slowing down." But Durk was judging himself. Harder than anyone else ever could. He ran his hands over his face. "All I ever do is take care of people," he said, voice cracking again. "Everybody expect me to be the strong one, the leader, the one who keep it together. But who the hell gon' take care of me?" Nobody spoke, because the truth echoed too loudly. Then, out of nowhere, his phone buzzed again. Everyone watched him pick it up. Everyone watched his expression shift from exhaustion to shock. "What?" his sister asked. "What happened?" Durk turned the screen toward her. It was a leaked screenshot. A private message. A deeply personal argument from days ago, one that only a handful of people knew existed, and now it was already circulating on a trending blog page. Someone close to him had leaked it. Again. Durk held the phone like it was burning his hand. "See," he said, voice shaking. "This why I can't do this no more. The people closest to me, they the ones hurting me the most." His sister's face dropped. His manager looked furious. His homies exchanged angry glances. This wasn't just family drama anymore. This was betrayal hitting him at the exact moment he was already falling apart. "Who leaked that?" someone demanded. Durk shook his head. "I already know who it is." He didn't say the name. He didn't need to. That was the moment the emotional breaking point snapped completely. Durk walked away from everybody and sat on the floor in the corner, head down, hands locked together. Not because he was weak, but because he was overwhelmed. Crushed under pressure that no amount of fame or money could fix. Then, finally, he spoke. "I'm tired of pretending I'm good," he said. "I'm tired of smiling for everybody else. I'm tired of being strong when I ain't strong no more." His sister knelt beside him. "Then be honest," she whispered. "For once in your life, be honest with the people out there." Durk looked up slowly. "You mean, tell them everything?" She nodded. "You don't owe anybody explanations. But you owe yourself peace." That word, peace, hit him like a punch to the chest. Peace. Something he hadn't felt in years. His manager stepped closer. "If you want to cancel tonight, we'll shut it down. No questions asked." But suddenly, for the first time that night, Durk stood up on his own. He brushed off his clothes, straightened his jacket, and wiped his face with the back of his hand. Then he said something nobody expected. "Nah, I'm going out there. And I'm telling the truth." Everyone froze. Durk wasn't talking about performing a song. He was talking about something bigger. Something raw. Something honest. His DJ blinked. "You sure?" Durk nodded, eyes sharper now. "They wanna see me pretend? I ain't pretending tonight. Whatever happened, happened." With security surrounding him, he headed toward the stage. But right as he reached the curtain, someone grabbed his arm. It was one of his closest day ones, a guy who'd been with him since before the fame. "Bro," he said quietly, "whatever you say out there, Make sure it's what you want to say, not what the pain forcing you to say. Durk stared at him for a long second. That's the problem, he said. I've been letting pain talk for years. Tonight, I'ma talk for myself. And with that, he pushed through the curtain. The crowd erupted. But they had no idea what was about to happen. No one expected the emotional confession that would pour out. No one expected tears from a man who built an image on surviving every hit life threw at him. And no one expected that the next 10 minutes on stage would become one of the most shocking talked-about moments in Lil Durk's career. The arena went silent the moment Lil Durk lifted the mic. No beat, no intro, no flashing lights. Just him standing there, shoulders tense, chest rising and falling like he was trying to breathe underwater. His fans, thousands of them, slowly quieted down as they sensed something was off. This wasn't the usual build-up. This wasn't the entrance of a superstar. This was a man fighting tears in front of a crowd that thought they'd seen every version of him. When he finally spoke, his voice cracked. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm hurt. The crowd didn't cheer. They didn't scream. They listened. Durk's eyes scanned the sea of people, all standing, all waiting. He swallowed hard and continued. I ain't perfect. I try to be strong for everybody. My family. My homies. My fans. But these last months, he paused, tightening his grip around the mic. These last months almost broke me. People in the front row gasped. Some covered their mouths. Others exchanged confused looks. This wasn't the usual tough, composed Lil Durk they were used to. This was raw, unfiltered, human. He looked down at the floor and shook his head slowly. Loyalty ain't loyalty no more. People I trusted, people I grew up with, people I love, they've been hurting me behind my back. A ripple went through the arena. Even the cameraman froze. But the worst part, Durk continued, voice trembling. It wasn't the streets. It wasn't the ops. It wasn't the blogs. It was somebody close, real close, leaking my business just to bring me down. A shocked murmur swept across the venue. Nobody expected him to say it out loud. Nobody expected him to confirm the rumors that fans had been piecing together for weeks. Durk took a step back, running a hand over his face. I've been carrying so much pain, man. And every time I try to keep it together, it feel like God throw another weight on my back. His sister watched from backstage with her hand over her mouth. His manager shook his head slowly, realizing this moment was no longer about music, it was about healing. Durk's voice dropped low. I lost people I ain't never thought I'd lose. I lost brothers. I lost love. I lost trust. And somewhere in the middle of trying to stay strong for everybody, I lost myself. Fans began screaming, "We love you, Durk." Others held up their phones trembling, recording one of the most emotional moments in his entire career. Durk looked out at them, eyes glassy. You ever feel like the whole world expects you to be strong, even when you breaking apart on the inside? Thousands in the crowd nodded. Some raised their hands. Others cried silently. That's me, he said. Every day. He pressed the mic closer to his lips. I've been quiet for too long. Too scared to look weak. Too scared to disappoint people who think I'm unbreakable. But I ain't. I'm human. I'm tired. And I'm fighting battles nobody know about. The screen behind him slowly faded into a soft blue glow. No graphics, no animation. Just an empty color that matched the heaviness of the moment. Durk stepped closer to the crowd, voice softer now. Tonight, I ain't performing. I ain't here to fake energy I don't got. I'm here to tell y'all the truth, because if I don't say it tonight, I might not ever say it. People screamed, "We got you," and keep going. He closed his eyes, breathed deeply, and continued. I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't know who's really for me. Every time I turn around, somebody using my name, my pain, my problems, just so they can eat. His voice cracked again. I lost Vaughn. I lost people before that. I thought losing them was the hardest thing a man could go through. But losing trust in the people still alive? That hurt different. A hush fell over the arena. Durk pointed to his chest. This heart right here, been through war, and it's tired. Then he looked upward, blinking through tears. But I gotta keep living. I gotta keep going for my kids. For the people who really love me. For y'all. Even when I don't feel strong, I gotta try. The crowd erupted into emotional cheers. Durk nodded slowly, wiping his face with his sleeve. So if you ever see me quiet, if you ever see me distant, if you ever see me look like I ain't myself, just know it ain't about fame. It ain't about money. It's about trying to find me again. He paused, took a shaky breath, and delivered the sentence that would trend for the next 48 hours straight. Lil Durk human too. Silence. Then screams. Then applause so loud it shook the arena. Durk lowered the mic, tears rolling down his cheeks. His sister rushed toward him from backstage, wrapping him in a tight hug as fans watched in emotional silence. Security circled him. Fans chanted his name. His closest homies stood motionless, eyes wide, realizing he had just opened a door he'd spent years locking shut. He wasn't Durk the superstar anymore. He wasn't Durk the industry icon. He wasn't Durk the voice of the trenches. He was Durk, the man, the human, the soul fighting to be heard beneath the weight of fame. As the lights dimmed and he walked off stage, people whispered that they had just witnessed history. The night Lil Durk stopped performing a persona and started telling his truth. His manager placed an arm around him. "You did the right thing, bro," he said. Durk nodded, exhausted but relieved. "For the first time," he said softly, "I feel like I ain't hiding no more." And the world was finally listening. If you watched this moment unfold live or even caught it online afterward, you already know this wasn't just another celebrity meltdown. This was real, raw, emotional. A side of Lil Durk that fans rarely get to see. A man stripped of fame, stripped of armor, stripped of all the expectations that come with being one of the biggest names in hip-hop. But this moment raises questions. Big ones. Questions only you, the viewer, can help unpack. Is this the start of Durk rebuilding his life from scratch? Was this the emotional release he needed after years of carrying silent pain? Or is this just the beginning of an even deeper story the world hasn't heard yet? What happens next? Does he confront the family betrayal? Does he cut off the people leaking his personal life? Does he step back from music? Or does this breakdown turn into a breakthrough that fuels his greatest comeback? We don't know yet, but you can join the conversation. If you're watching this right now, take a second to drop a comment. Tell us what you think Durk should do next. Tell us if you've ever hit a breaking point of your own. Tell us whether this moment made you see him differently, not just as an artist, but as a human being. And while you're here, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this story. Because this isn't just a rap update. This is a reminder that even the strongest people carry pain you'll never see until it breaks them open. And trust me, Durk's story is far from over. Not by a long shot.